So you want a commenting system for your website, but like you're not crazy about how some companies take your visitors' data and, kind of go wild with it.
Yeah, treating it like it's theirs to just, I don't know.
Yeah, like some kind of commodity.
Exactly.
Well, you are in luck, my friend, because today we are diving deep into Commentario.
Commentario.
It's a free and open source commenting system that puts comments first.
I like the sound of that already.
No, like actually puts comments first.
Yeah.
No sneaky tracking, no shady business with your data, just comments.
It's refreshing, right? Like in a world obsessed with data, it's like this breath of fresh air.
Totally. And the story behind it is actually pretty interesting.
Oh.
So it all started with another project called Commento, Commento.
Okay.
It was like the precursor to Commentario, but, things happen, and
Yeah.
it kind of just faded away.
Oh, too bad. What happened?
No updates, no support, like radio silence.
Oh, that's a shame. It had potential.
Yeah, it did. Which is where our hero enters the picture, Dmitry Khan. He was a big fan of Commento.
I see where this is going.
Yeah, he even blogged about using it on his own website, yiktoo.com.
Right.
But when it was clear Commento was, gone,
Yeah.
he decided, you know what? I'm going to build my own solution.
Wow.
And that's how Commentario was born.
So he took something, or rather, like, picked up the torch and ran with it.
Exactly. Instead of letting a good thing die, he resurrected it.
Dedicated, right.
Absolutely. But he didn't just, copy-paste the old code, did he?
No, this is a from-the-ground-up rebuild. New tools, fresh perspective, the whole shebang.
Wow, that's commitment.
And get this, he built Commentario in 3 main parts.
3.
Yeah, so there's the back end. Think of it like the engine of a car.
Okay.
And that's built with Go, the programming language. Then there's the embeddable part. That's what you put on your website.
Right.
And that's written in TypeScript. And then last but not least, the admin interface that's built using Angular.
Okay, so I'm more of a words person, not a coder. What does all this mean for me? Basically, it means Commentario is built for speed, it's efficient, and the user experience is smooth. And he even made sure that early on, Commentario could work with Commento's old database.
Oh, nice. That's smart.
Yeah, so it made switching over easier for people who were already using Commento.
That's thinking ahead. But why go through the trouble of, starting over? Why not just build on what Commento already had?
Well, imagine you're renovating a really old house, right?
Okay.
Sometimes it's just better to start fresh than to try to patch up what's already there.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think Ton had a long-term vision for Commentario, and starting fresh was the best way to make that happen.
Makes sense.
It's like they say, good ideas never really die. So how did Commentario go from, this brand new thing to what it is now?
Well, from the get-go, Khan was laser-focused on 2 things: making it crazy fast and creating a really polished user experience, like even the little details. You can see it even in the early updates, like version 2.3.1.
What did they add in that one?
They added this new dashboard chart. It might not seem like much, but it makes a huge difference.
Is that the one that shows you the comments and views from the past month?
That's the one. It gives you a quick snapshot of how your comment section is doing. But behind the scenes, Ken was tackling a much bigger problem, the way Commento handled something called database queries.
Okay, hold on. Database queries. I think you might have lost me there.
Right, sorry. It's kind of techie, but imagine you've got this massive library, thousands of books, right?
Okay.
But the card catalog is a mess. Totally disorganized, takes forever to find anything. That was Commento's problem. But Commentario, it streamlined the whole system, made those searches, those queries, lightning fast.
So no more waiting around for comments to load.
Exactly. And then with version 3.0.0, things got even more interesting. It's like Commentario leveled up. They introduced a brand new database model, added features that really give you, the user, a lot of control.
Okay, like what?
We're talking user roles, super user privileges. You can even fine-tune the entire system with static and dynamic configuration.
It's like going from, I don't know, a basic toolbox to one a professional contractor would use.
Exactly. And because no online community is perfect, Khan made sure Commentario could handle those, less than desirable situations.
You mean the trolls.
Pretty much, yeah. So version 3.0 brought in user banning moderation features to deal with spam and those, not so nice comments.
Yeah, can't escape them.
And then they took it a step further. They integrated with those third-party services, the ones that automatically flag and filter out the really bad stuff.
Give me some names. Help me out here.
So think Akismet, API layer spam checker, even Google's Perspective API.
So it's like having a whole security team for your comment section. But it wasn't all about defense, right? This version also brought some features that I'm kind of surprised aren't just, like, standard everywhere.
Oh, tell me more.
So we're talking user avatars, Facebook login for those who prefer it, even the ability to add images to comments.
Finally. Those are the features that make online discussion more, engaging, more human.
Okay, so we've got speed, control, troll defenses. Is there anything Commentario can't do?
Well, I don't know about everything, but Can really kept going with those smaller quality of life improvements that make a big difference.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so version 3.4.0, right?
Yeah.
They added live updates to comments.
Live updates. So you mean I'm looking at a comment thread and...
You don't have to refresh the page.
Yeah.
New comments just pop up like magic, thanks to something called WebSockets.
WebSockets. And that's...
It's a bit technical, but basically it lets comments update in real time.
Okay, yeah, I see how that would be huge. No more frantic refreshing to see if anyone's replied.
Right. And they didn't stop there. 3.4.10 also brought a revamped editor, the actual space where you write your comment.
Yeah.
It's got a toolbar for formatting, a preview function.
Oh, the preview. What a lifesaver that is, because we've all been there. Hit submit, only to realize, oh, I forgot to italicize that.
Exactly. And speaking of small changes that make a big difference, remember that comment anonymously checkbox?
Yeah. I mean, it did the job, but...
It always felt a bit clunky, right?
Yeah, like an extra step.
Well, Kant thought so too. It's a button now. Simple, elegant.
It's like they say, sometimes less is more. And then there's version 3.5.0, which was huge, especially for folks who might be new to self-hosting.
Oh, yeah. 3.5.0 was a game changer.
Because they added SQLite support.
Right. Before that, you pretty much needed to set up a PostgreSQL database to even use Commentario.
PostgreSQL is.
It's like button quickly. Imagine a really powerful database system.
Okay.
Often used for large websites with lots of traffic, which is great if you need it, but for a smaller site, it's kind of overkill. Adding Squealy meant that you didn't need this whole complicated setup to just try Commentario out.
So you're saying if you've got a small blog, you can use SQLite, and if things start taking off, you can upgrade later on.
Exactly. Flexibility is key. Oh, and then there's version 3.6.0, which added I-18N support.
I-18.
It's a bit of a programmer shorthand, but basically it means internationalization, so Commentario could be used in a ton of different languages.
Because the internet isn't just English-speaking, right?
Exactly. And then we come to version 3.0.0.
Okay, what'd they add?
This one's called Donagadi.
Donagadi.
Yeah, Khan seems to like giving these releases fun little names. But anyway, this version introduced a small, but I think important visual cue. Spinner.
Spinners.
You know those little loading animations? Like if you click a button and it takes a second to load, it'll show you that something is happening.
Oh, right. Instead of just staring at a blank screen.
Exactly. Small detail, but makes the experience so much smoother. Oh, and on the more technical side, 3.0.0 also made some improvements to how Commentario handles language. So there's this thing called a language fallback path. Like, let's say someone visits your website and their browser is set to, I don't know, a less common language, right? If Commentario doesn't have a direct translation for it, it'll actually try to find a close match, like a regional dialect or something. And if all else fails, it'll default to English.
Wow. It's like Commentario is fluent in internet.
Right. And there's even more, like improvements to how it organizes comment data behind the scenes, more granular control if you're managing multiple websites, even support for IPv6, which is like the latest version of the internet protocol.
So it's future-proof.
You got it.
Right.
But I think what's even more exciting than the technical stuff is just the overall picture here. We have this powerful, privacy-focused commenting platform that's totally free to use and open source.
It makes you wonder, could this be the future of online discussion?
Right. Not controlled by, tech giants with their own agendas, but by a community that values transparency and user control.
That is a future I can get behind. Well, there you have it, folks. A deep dive into Commentario, the commenting platform that's both powerful and principled. If you want to add comments to your site without compromising your values, you know what to check out. And for more deep dives into fascinating corners of the internet, subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, happy commenting.